Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map and I'm reporting from Croatia. Let me just show you my view. Isn't it amazing? I'm in Juliana on Pelješac Peninsula. They make a lot of wine here because on the hills, which you can see around the sea, there's a lot of vineyards and they grow grapes here. And it's an area famous for its wine. So I'm in a perfect spot. But I'm sitting here watching all the YouTube videos which I haven't been able to watch before, and just I have a lot of time. So I've been playing with tarot, of course, and I wanted to share a short video, another installment into my Tarot de Marseille series. And this time I would like to show you a cool way, a few ways to read Tarot de Marseille, especially with importance being put on directionality of reading the people in the cards. I only have with me the majors, Tarot de Marseille deck, Vandenborg deck, made by my friend Piotr. He can also make you one if you want it. Then you have to contact him. I will link his link below. But Marseille majors suit themselves very well for this type of readings, which I want to show you. So one reading which I've shared before, I think in 31 Days of Tarot, it's called Where's the Fool Heading? So I'm actually using here a little bit of Lenormand method, and what I'm doing while I'm shuffling the cards, I'm thinking of the Fool as myself or a person I'm reading for, and I want to find out where I'm going, so what I'm leaving behind and where I'm heading. So where is the Fool heading? And as we know, the Fool can be any of us. It's like the wild cat of tarot. It's the traveler, the eternal traveler. So I thought Fool is a great card to pick as the significator. So when you shuffle the cards, you thinking about where's the Fool heading, meaning where are you heading, and when you feel you're ready, you actually open, so turn the cards over and you search for the Fool. And you search for the Fool, and you search for the one card which is before the Fool and one card which is after the Fool. And in Vandenborg Tarot, the Fool is heading in a way in the other direction, just like the Rider-Waite-Smith Fool, because it's numbered as a card 22. So actually it is going into the world, but from another direction. So now we have to adjust to it, and we can see that the Fool is going away from Temperance and going into the Strength. And take a look at the at the Temperance. She has two vases here, and she pours water from one into the other. Seems like effortlessly. She hasn't even have the need to use the other hand, where she holds like a wand or who knows. But let's pay attention to this one. In Strength, on the other hand, we see a woman that uses two hands to open up that lion's or that creature's face or mouth. So we already can say that for some reason the Strength card seems to be portraying more of a battle compared to the Temperance card, where the person just does the thing which is doing intuitively and doing just not much. So if we wanted to look at it subjectively, we can say that the Fool is leaving a period of time of Temperance, so where things are coming quite easily to us, when we feel maybe quite balanced, when we can perform our actions quite easy, and heading towards a place where we have to use a little bit more of our inner strength, maybe connect to the inner strength within us. Maybe the situation in the outside world will be demanding of us to use two hands rather than one, so it might be a little bit more difficult for us to handle. So this is how you can play with this, and you can, of course, then for practice just choose any of the two cards and see what's happening to the Fool. It's a great way to practice a creative open reading and just have a fun way to use your Tarot de Marseille to look at the people. And this is like a teaching tip. So always look at people's hands. What are the hands doing? What is the person doing? Are they standing? Are they walking? Are they using their hands? Or are their hands loosely doing nothing? Do they hold something? What are they holding? Are they sitting? Are they walking? Which direction they looking? And so on and so forth. This adds so much to your reading that it's really fascinating, and it's very much intuitive reading based on what you actually see on the cards. On top of this, you can add, of course, symbolic meanings. You can add astrology. You can add numerology. Whatever sparks you. You can add Kabbalah. Whatever sparks your interest. But the simplicity of this type of reading is really amazing and gives you it gives me a lot of pleasure and gives me very accurate readings. So, for example, the god Bacchus, which in this deck is portrayed as Hierophant, so the Pope. I wouldn't read this card if it came up as a Pope, because what do I see on the picture? I see a guy sitting on a barrel of wine and drinking wine. So obviously this can totally add another meaning to the Pope, which we usually see as a traditional dressed up, having followers. So if my Fool is heading towards this Bacchus, I'm not going to go, check your spiritual beliefs and you're going to be traditional and blah, 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 blah. No, I'm going to go, well, check how you treat your spirituality. Maybe, decide how you see and view spirituality. Spirituality is not reserved only for people who are morally black and white and follow a certain type of religion. Sometimes you've got to lighten up with your spirituality. Sometimes, like Milarepa, sometimes you can be a drunk and then just have this amazing awakening happening to you. So in a way, my Fool is going into heading towards a lesson. And when you look at this card, you can warn a person, watch out your drinking patterns, watch out for how much alcohol you drink, for example, just because that's what I see on the card. There might be a lesson. Maybe there is a person in your surrounding that drinks a lot of alcohol. There might be also how exactly you're going into the area or period of time when you have to discover your spirituality for yourself, what's important for you, and how you play out and express your spiritual beliefs. Are you walking your talk, or are you hiding behind a bottle of wine? So that's really fascinating, and that's why playing with Marseille decks, even only with majors in this way, it's very, very cool. Another way you can do, or I like to do, is to just pull 3 cards and do exactly the same thing. And, you just look at the person and at people, how they behave in relationship to one another. You see who looks at whom, who drives into whom, who drives away, who walks away, who is interested in the neighbor, who isn't, and so on and so forth. And that will give you a lot of indication as how to proceed with your reading. And often I use this type of readings in the beginning of a session with a client, just to give me some kind of indication, because it's quite general, to know and to check up with the person where they come from, and if it's in some way resonates with them. You can also ask people to tell you after you've done this short kind of synthesis of 3 cards or 2 cards, or where is the full heading, if that resonates with them, and then you can explore things deeper with maybe the whole tarot deck. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I speak to you soon. Bye.